Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you guys. Hi everyone. So, I am starting this series about inside the therapy session, inside the therapy room for all the people who think that they might need therapy but they don't feel like taking an action because they often feel that something is wrong with them. They feel that something is wrong with us and something very serious is going to happen inside the therapy room, which might make us feel that we are crazy or something. But no, in the therapy room we deal with some very very common issues which are faced by a lot of people, just like you and me, mostly females. I deal with a lot of females. Okay, so let us start with today's topic. And today I want to discuss about a girl who comes to me and complains to me, to me that Neha, everybody is taking me for granted. So what happens when a client comes to us with a problem saying that everybody is taking me for granted and I don't feel worthy enough, I don't feel enough. Okay, and now I'll be taking you to the steps along with some kind of findings that we do inside the therapy session, inside the therapy room, as the title says it. Okay, so this girl, let us call her Jenny, and this is just a name which I have kept. The real name is not there in this session. Okay, so this girl came to me with a very common complaint that she said that, Neha, I'm always showing up for everybody else. I'm sacrificing my meetings, I'm sacrificing my work for everyone in my family and for everyone in my friend circle. But I never feel acknowledged and I never feel heard. I always feel that I am alone and everybody is taking me for granted. So so we started this session, and the first part of the session starts with the client showing up with the problem. So this here is a problem that everybody is taking me for granted, which also means that when somebody is asking you to do certain things, you are not doing those things just because you want to do, but probably you are doing things for others beyond your limits. Okay, that's when you start feeling that everybody is taking you for granted, whereas for the other person it is just a simple expectation out of you. So you have the right to say no, but still you're not able to say no because you feel like we have to do this thing. Okay, so this is where it begins, when you start feeling that nobody is acknowledging me, nobody is appreciating me. I'm doing this and that for everybody, but I'm not getting anything in return. Okay, so here is a story of Jenny who comes with the same problem, and she's somebody who's very dependable. Me any questions in the middle of the session, you can type it down in the chat box. So the thing is that, Jenny was somebody who's always dependable in the office. Also, she would stay extra, she would do extra work. She would probably give up her own family life but focus on her work because she wanted to keep the job intact. Or sometimes at home she would do a lot of things to keep her husband happy or to keep her in-laws happy. Even if she wasn't well, she wouldn't rest, but she would do for others. But later she would be full of resentment that I am invisible, nobody cares for me, किसी को मेरा ध्यान नहीं है, I am doing everything for everybody but nobody is bothered. Okay, so this common problem she came up with, and a lot of women come up to me with the same problem. So we started exploring कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, why is it happening. Okay, so we asked the client to simply close the eyes, and I start asking the questions. I start interrogating. So the same thing I did with Jenny also, and I started asking her that, what happens when somebody takes you for granted. What happens when you don't feel appreciated or acknowledged? What happens when all of these things go on with you? What So she said that, I feel unloved, I feel unheard, I feel that nobody's looking at me and I'm not important. Okay, and then the eyes has to be closed for the client, but of course there's a different client who cannot close the eyes, and we try a different thing, but the questions remain the same. Primarily we ask the client then, where do you feel this inside your body? Very very important question. We always ask the client later on that, this feeling that you are unheard and nobody is listening to you and you cannot speak up, you are unloved, where is this feeling located inside your body? This is the most important question in the entire therapy session, because we have to feel it inside our body. Our bodies listen to us even before our brain captures those things. Okay, so she said that Neha, I feel a very choking feeling inside my throat, like I cannot speak up. And sometimes it also happens that the client is not able to connect to the body, then we again do a different kind of a session for that kind of a person. However, in this case, I asked her, what do you feel inside your throat, because she already felt a choking sensation inside her throat. And she said that it feels like a object is stuck there, an object like a stone, and I cannot speak up. Okay, so when she said that I feel this inside my body, inside my throat, we further ask the client to interrogate further. We breathe into this space, we breathe into this space of throat where the stone is stuck. And I asked her to do that. And this process usually takes time, it's not as short as right now what I'm talking to you about. So she told me that, I asked her then that go back down the memory lane and try to regress back. Okay, and I asked her to revisit her past experiences where she had a similar feeling. Okay, and this process also takes time, because sometimes the client starts seeing a lot of different memories coming up. And these are not the bad episodes of life, but they are some memorable episodes of life which stay with you forever, subconsciously. Of course, consciously you're not remembering them. So then in the next step, I urged Jenny to revisit all her past memories and try to find out that first time when she felt such a sensation in her life. Okay, the sensation of having a choked throat, and the sensation of feeling unheard and unimportant, that her needs are not important. Okay, so she regressed back, she kept on breathing, she kept on doing this meditative exercise. And then while the mom had an urgent meeting, so the mom here was also a corporate worker, she had to, yeah, so she also had to attend the meetings and everything, and the father was already in office. So but this girl, the 7-year-old Jenny, she had a meeting. Okay, she had a dance class at that time. And for her the dance class was more important. But because mom said that, Jenny, you are such a good girl, it will be so helpful if you do that. And if you do this work, if you help me taking care of your sister, you'll be really a very good girl, you'll be so responsible. So Jenny at that moment couldn't speak up, because she was just a 7-year-old girl, right? However, as a 7-year-old girl, she just missed her drawing dance class at that moment, and she started taking care of the sister while the mom was busy and the dad was also busy, right? And her mom was also a full-time bank, she was in a banking job, full-time banking job. She was also always overwhelmed with a lot of work. So somewhere inside Jenny there was also the mother residing subconsciously, and also this inner child experience where she felt choked because she had to take care of her little sister, rather than going for her drawing class, dance class. Okay, whichever class was there, the client couldn't remember it very correctly, but she had to give up her own task there to take care of the little child. Now let's understand what happened. Okay, and then later towards the end of the session, we did some reparenting activities where I told Jenny to speak up, to be in that memory and tell the mother that, mom, no, my drawing class is more important than taking care of the girl, taking care of my little sister. But let us understand the psychology behind all of this. Okay, so Jenny, she was the eldest child and she had a younger daughter. The mom was already overwhelmed with a full-time banking job. Okay, and the father was also emotionally unavailable. So from a very young age, she was asked to do certain things which adults do, like simply taking care of the mother, sometimes getting the work done by the maids, or maybe also taking care of the little child, like for example going to school. So Jenny, take care of your daughter, you have to be aware of what she's doing and everything, all of those kind of things. Or maybe she was also told that you have to take care that the younger sister has to do the homework. So she was given a lot of tasks and responsibilities since childhood, and she was also appreciated for that. So she kept on repeating this kind of a pattern where she thought that if I do extra for others, I will be accepted, I will be loved. Okay, so this was the pattern which was coming up because she had a childhood experience wherein she was appreciated only when she used to give her own time, her patience, her time, and her efforts to others. That's when she was being appreciated the most, and this pattern continued till she grew up and she came to this session. Okay, so this is what precisely happens in a very small nutshell. In a 10-minute session, I tried to cover up what happens in a therapy session inside a therapy room. Okay, and then the client was crying also during the session, and she felt that I wish I could speak up at that time. Yes, at that time you couldn't speak up, but it is now that you can start taking up your own responsibility. And so after the session, I tried to give her certain action points. One of the action points was to start saying no for certain things which make her feel uncomfortable, and these could be something very small no's, like knows where the impact will not be huge, and trying to set up boundaries there. Okay, I also tried to tell her that you have to prioritize your own rest, your own body, so that you don't feel that nobody is appreciating you, because first you need to appreciate yourselves. So slowly Jenny started taking this action. She started saying no for smaller things. She started taking care of herself first. She started avoiding going to late night parties where her body needed more attention, and slowly her health improved. She stopped complaining about this thing that Neha, I always feel taken for granted. So this is the change which happened in her, because till a particular time, when you keep doing these things, the brain's neuroscience will change, and automatically when you do this, when you start setting no's, when you start setting boundaries, people also take you more seriously. They also respect your time. They also understand that this person is a busy person, and I can only ask for certain favors, but not always. So this is how it happens, that when you come to an inner child session or an intergenerational trauma session, we go to the root cause of it, and we try to see what actionable steps are needed now to change this. And over time, the neuroscience of the brain will change. There would be new connections in your mind, and you'll no longer feel guilty of saying no, and you are no longer going to feel that somebody is taking you for granted. Slowly that feeling will end up. So yeah, this was about today's session. Today's the first session of the series inside the therapy room. If there is any topic which you want me to cover, please do that. And usually I share real life stories here, because I don't want people to think that therapy is something which is very daunting, or it is something which is supposed to be scared of. It's not like that. It's a very casual session which takes place just like a flow. Whether you have body image issues, whether you have issues of overworking, whether you have issues of people pleasing, all of these things can be treated very easily through a session. And then of course a consistent work is required for that. So if this excites you, feel free to reach out with your problem, and we can see how we can help you, how we can work together. And if you have any questions, please ask me right now, or you can also comment on this particular video which I'll be posting, so that I can reply to you. So anybody has any questions about this thing? Hi Sakshi, hi Shoaib. I don't know who all are actually attending. Hi Riddhi. So guys, if there are no questions, I understand that immediately maybe you cannot think of a question, but there's always a way to come back to this recording. You can see it and ask me any questions that you might have about how sessions take place and what happens inside the therapy room. Okay, so take care and have a good day. Have a good week ahead. Today is Monday, and I'll see you again. Bye.